We live in a time, in a country, where we're disconnected from one another. There's a chasm between right and left, middle America and the coast, us and them. Facing the West Wind began as an idea to show how cowboys and the West could teach the rest of the country how to accept each other's differences and find a way to connect. What we found took us in a different direction.
We wanted to talk a little about the concept of the Facing the West Wind story, the idea when I pitched it to you, and sort of some of the behind-the-scenes work that you did to kind of get it from where we initially chatted about it to where it ended up on the page.
Sakariassen is a Missoula-based writer who worked at the Missoula Independent for 9 years before the paper shuttered its doors. Alex traveled Montana's Rocky Mountain front and interviewed 4 ranchers and a U.S. senator to understand the soul of the West and the lives of the folks who worked that land.
Yeah, I think authenticity was the big part. The minute Juanita said that, it was half an hour, 45 minutes into almost a 2-hour-long interview. And the minute she said authenticity, I just wrote it down on my notebook and, underlined it. And I was like, we need to talk more about authenticity. And
I didn't do shit. I mean, I was just born. Like, my Filipino cowboy dad fell in love with the boss's daughter, And so I just have like a sense of responsibility and gratitude, obviously gratitude and then responsibility to give back and to offer this to other folks too.
And then she started talking about horses and just led down a whole different path that I did not expect.
Yeah.
And it kind of opened up a segment of the story that I hadn't really considered, but wound up becoming kind of pivotal to really bring it across the finish line and make it something that wasn't gonna fetishize ranch and farm culture and actually offer more of an honest and truthful picture of what these people have to bring to the table.
I guess I was going to ask you just a little about kind of more thematically, when we did identify those 3 components, what can we weave through while still keeping them separate?
Yeah, the components that Owen brings up in the intro that I had completely read over that sentence in my read through, and then in rereading it before we talked, I hit on that and authenticity popped out, like I said, but then there was this confidence and humility, and I looked at it and I thought, well, speaks really well to the characteristics that these folks are bringing to the table.
There's some out there that don't believe hard work gets you to where you need to go. I think it does. And so you could probably say the same thing if you were a doctor or a lawyer or a plumber, a welder. Yeah, I think you have to work at stuff to be successful at it. And it's true as a senator, and it's absolutely true in agriculture too.
So I gotta ask you, what was going through your mind when I called you first and said I was working on this crazy story about, farm and ranch ethics and making people more civil? And
well, once you mention that with agriculture, then I kind of thought about it a little bit, because that's pretty much why I put this in conservation easements, because I didn't want no subdivision in there. The old people that all died off and all their sweat and blood into this ground, I don't know, I don't think I had a right to sell it. Someday, I won't be here, but someday Missoula's gonna need all the ground they can get to feed their population. Mm-hmm. And that's coming. It's a ways away, but it's coming.
And this will still be here.
Yeah, somebody, I don't know how I'm gonna handle it at the final end, but I ain't got no will or nothing, and I might just leave it up to somebody else. You can't rule from the grave, no matter how much I'd like to.
A story is a journey. From a grain of an idea, a story works that idea, speaking with people, learning, researching, and understanding. Sometimes the road takes unexpected turns, but a true story always leads to a definitive end. In our end, we discovered that there is an honesty, a work ethic, and a focus to the people in the West. And it's the same in the East or in the middle. If we can listen to each other and are willing to learn from one another, we might just stand a chance. As Alex Sakariassen wrote in his story, the west wind can shift our collective mindset. We just need to be brave and vulnerable enough to let it blow over us.